Now, there are growing fears of a major resurgence of insurgent activity in northern Nigeria after a series of brazen attacks this week. The incidents began when troops walked into an ambush in Borno State, leaving several soldiers dead. Shortly after, gunmen kidnapped the deputy governor of Kebbi State, signaling that high-profile officials are now targets. In a separate attack, about 25 schoolgirls were abducted from their community in a nighttime raid on Monday. Security analysts say these coordinated attacks point to a dangerous and confident resurgence of insurgents groups, raising fears that the region is sliding back into a period of widespread violence. For a conversation about the resurgence of insurgency, beginning with troops ambush in Damboa, Borno, the abduction of Kebbi Deputy Governor, and now 25 schoolgirls, public affairs analyst Nick Agule joins us now. Good afternoon, Mr. Agule. Many thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon to you in the studios, and good afternoon to our viewers globally.
Of course. Now, what would you say are the contributing factors regarding this resurgence of insurgency that we're seeing in the northern part of our country?
Thank you very much. So the incidents, the security incidents that we are experiencing have really not abated that much since they started about 10, 15, perhaps 20 years ago. The only thing that happens is that you will see the incidents concentrated in a particular region, and then thereafter, maybe when the security forces pay attention to that place, you will now find it resurrect somewhere else. So now we have Plateau, Benue as the theater, and things have now moved over back to the northeast. At the time, it was the northwest. At the time, it was southern Kaduna and all of that. So they're just moving, perhaps in response to the attention that security agencies are paying to them. The question, therefore, is that can Nigeria be able to provide security in all parts of the country so that wherever attention is given to insecurity, the bandits or terrorists or whoever is perpetrating these acts of insecurity does not have a new home to go to? And the question is that probably not. Probably Nigeria is not ready and prepared to be able to provide security all over the nation at the same time. And the factors are very clear. Number one, our security budget is not enough. A lot of Nigerians may not like that point, given that security always takes the lion's share of our budget year in, year out. But if you look in comparison, I mean, the United States is not Nigeria, but we can just compare to see that their own security budget is about $800 billion. And Nigeria's security budget is perhaps maybe $1 billion. The point is that where the United States is buying military equipment is where Nigeria is buying, because we are not manufacturing the military hardware in Nigeria. So we go to the same market. So if you look at the entirety of Nigeria's federal budget, it's about $40 billion. So even if you commit all of that in the kind of insecurity that we are facing, it may perhaps not be enough. So that is probably the first reason. The second reason, of course, is that the one that is budgeted, what is the use of it? Is it being applied for the purpose for which the budget is being made, or appropriation is being made? So that's another question. Then, of course, there's the issue of the use of the personnel. We don't have enough personnel, because Nigeria should understand that we are actually at war now, because a situation where an army general can be killed, schoolgirls can be kidnapped, whole communities can be ransacked and murdered in their sleep. This is acts of war. These are war times. So if Nigeria recognizes that we're at war, then we need to mobilize a lot more security men, both military police and paramilitary than we have now, so that we can respond to that war. Is what we did for the Civil War, for instance. So do we have enough hands? The answer is probably no. And even the hands that we have, how are we applying them? Just a few days ago, we saw armed soldiers, naval men, guarding a private property here in Abuja. Is that what they should be doing? Now think about the number of retired service chiefs and generals that have these armed men attached to them. Then think about the number of people, some of them even civilians, who have nothing to do with government, that have soldiers and the police and the civil defense attached to them. And those security men are not available to provide security for the generality of the public. They are totally for the people who are paying them. So the people, they guard the people's homes. When they are going about, they go about with them. How many of such in our security architecture? And of course, the other big point is the fact that we can't be doing the same thing and expecting different results. It has come to the point now where those who are in charge of the security of Nigeria need to sit down and say, can we still provide this same security architecture and expect things to be different? And how do I mean? For instance, you look at the Inspector General of Police. I took a count. We've had about 13 of them since the advent of the Fourth Republic from 1999. All 13 men that have sat in that seat do not believe or did not take it to mind that we need to implement an emergency response system for Nigeria. Because an emergency response system puts security in the hands of all the citizens of Nigeria. In fact, the citizens become the first line of defense. And how does it work? It works in a very simple manner. You just implement an infrastructure with a short code, either 911 or 999, and all the telecoms companies connect their networks to that number. So that when citizens see something around where they are, they just call that number and provide the intel. And that is useful intel that you can then work with. Or if citizens see an active security incident actually ensuing, they can also dial that number. And then your response to that place will be very swift. How come that 13 men who have occupied the office of the Inspector General of Police in the last 25, 26 years have not thought about a system like that, whereby the 200 million mobile lines in Nigeria are now part of the security architecture? How come that the 12 chief of defense staff, the 13 chief of army staff that we have had have not thought that I can't be placing my men, spreading them out on checkpoints all over the country? Because when they are at those checkpoints, there's really nothing they can do if they face bandits numbering 30, 40, 50. Really. Right? So I will need to take them away from those checkpoints, put them in strike groups that will respond to citizens' call to security incidents. So why is that not happening?
Nick, Agule, thank you very much for such an in-depth answer to that. We'll definitely keep following all of these stories.